email, credit card information, maybe a little bit about you. They say, great, we'll see you on the 15th. They hang back up, and then they have to pick the phone back up, and they need to find a guide to fill that particular reservation. They have a guide roster of one guide, maybe 30 guides. So now starts a series of phone calls, and they call down that list until they can find a guide to fill that particular role. So they make their series of phone calls, they find a guide, they write that back down on a piece of paper, they take that same piece of paper, they go over to the credit card machine, they punch that credit card in, they come back over, erase the name they wrote in pencil, they rewrite that in pen, that's the interoffice signal that now that person's paid in full. They take that sheet, throw it in their trusty 3-ring binder. That's a typical reservation. But then the problems really ensue, because then what happens is that person inevitably is going to call back and say, you know what, rather than 2 people coming on that particular trip, now it's going to be 3. So then what do they get? They got to find another canoe, they got to find another guide. The whole process starts all over again. And that person might say to them, well, rather than pay in full, we'd like to split that payment. So now the person is, what do? I wrote your name in pen. You're now paid in full. So they got to scratch that back out. They have to rewrite that in pencil. They have to refund the original transaction on the second transaction. So now they only have to take that. Now they have to track 2 additional payments. And it just becomes a snowball. The other problem is these people have 50 trips going a day, different times a day. So if you can imagine what it takes to run one reservation, imagine what it takes to run those all day, every day, right? This is what their days look like. It's a mess, right? Unicorns, people calling hamburgers, it's crazy. So if this is what their days look like, imagine what their businesses look like. This is how we're revolutionizing the way these outdoor service providers operate. We've created a top-to-bottom software application that streamlines all of their back-end operations. It manages their financials, tracks their customers, automates the communication between the outfitter and the customer, automates the communication between the outfitter, the business owner, and their staff members, has a calendar, people can check in, it's perfect. We think it does everything. The all-important question is it mobile? Absolutely. It's mobile from the end user. You can make a reservation at any one of our customers from any mobile internet-enabled device, right? Cell phones, we get it. Staff members can check their schedules from their cell phones. Outfitters and managers can manage their entire business all from the palm of their hand. In 2010, the Outdoor Industry Association released a report that said $730 billion is contributed annually to the U.S. economy from the outdoor industry. We're dealing with a subset of that number, roughly $250 billion, which is spent on trips and travel. The number that I want you to remember is that 51% of Americans participated in a paid outdoor activity. Right, so we're talking about billions, gazillions, 51%. Let's drive this down into a market that we can understand, right? Let's take Bend. What you're looking at right now is a sample of 50 available customers that would be available to us here in just the Bend market alone. For us, one customer is worth roughly $4,500. So if we take that sample list of Bend, you're looking at about $250,000 available to us just in this market alone annually. So then the next question is well, how many cities are there like Bend? Well, we know there's only one Bend, but let's just, for the sake of looking past our own city, how many other cities are there that would allow for 50 prospects for us? It would support 50 prospects for us. Here's 50, right? Here's 50 more, here's 50 more, here's 50 more, here's 50 more, right? Huge available market for us, huge opportunity. We released our platform, our new reservation system in May 1st. And before I get into some of these numbers, the one thing I really want you to understand about where we're at, where our business is this is not an idea, this is not a concept, this is not a prototype, and we're not in beta. This is real, this is running, this is working, this is running today. Since we released our platform May 1st, we've done 16,000 reservations total. We've done over 1,300 online reservations. We've entered in over 40,000 unique customer profiles. And our reservation system right now is managing close to $9 million. Current customers, when we started May 1st, we grew up out of the fly fishing industry. And starting in May, most of our customers were fly fishing guides scattered across the country. Now our customers include heli ski operators, whale watch tours, spearfishing guides in Hawaii. We're starting to run the gamut. Our competition came into the space in this industry and they looked at it from a different angle. They said, what do these people need? What do these industries need? They said they need online reservations, right? So they created these online reservation portals that allow reservations to originate from the web. But what they didn't address, what they haven't addressed, is this huge underlying problem that I explained earlier, that has been dubbed the spaghetti slide with all the crazy stuff going on. this industry the other way and said, okay, what do these people need? What do these businesses need? Well, they need efficiencies, obviously, right? They need to automate some of that back-end operations. They need to automate the communication with their customers. They need to automate their payment tracking, right? We did all of that. We created a solution that allows our businesses to run more efficiently. And then, by the way, we also do online booking. We charge $35 to $100 a month, depending on feature package. We charge an additional $2 per person per day as a reservation fee. Additional streams of revenue include a plug-and-play merchant processing solution. We do some custom website development and hosting, as well as there's some embedded marketing tools. In 2012, we did $189,000 in total revenue. In the last 5 months, since May 1st, the release of our new platform, we've done $240,000 in revenue, and we're maintaining 70-plus point margins. It's those margins, it's the way that our business is set up that keeps our cost of goods low and our profit margins high. We're anticipating that we're going to pass $5 million in profit by the year 2017. Our team consists of myself, Ben Ibsen, and Chris Hall. And what I'm not going to tell you about is when we started the flybook and my experience as an outdoor professional. And I'm not going to tell you about Chris's experience as an outdoor professional or his experience in developing and managing and running businesses in this particular space. And I'm not going to tell you about Ben's experience about being a developer for 15 years and his experience in developing LAC operations in the Chugach Range in Alaska. What I am going to tell you about is what matters. That this idea, this new platform of ours, was a concept, it was an idea, it was a topic over beers. And we took that idea just about a year ago out of thin air, created a product, tested that product, tested it again, built it some more, betaed it, transitioned customers to it, took it to market, and sold it. This group, if they can do anything, they can execute. We're looking to raise $250,000. We're going to divide that up into 2 different channels. From a business development side of things, we expect our revenues to really increase and explode. We're going to take on the services of a part-time CFO. We're going to continue to hire and develop an in-house sales team. We're going to attend some additional trade shows. We're going to take advantage of some SEO and SEM opportunities. From a product side of things, we're going to continue to develop our front-end and back-end UI UX experience. We have some rentals management application that we're also going to continue to develop on. Some cross-system networking, as well as some additional social media integration. The companies that you see on the screen right now primarily sell you 3 things: airfare, car rental, and hotels. We feel like we're the missing piece to any one of these to becoming that one-stop shop to manage your travel. Why would they stop with just those 3? I read an article not too long ago about a family of 4 that goes to Hawaii for a week, participates in roughly 6 paid activities. Why would they start with just selling you 3 when they can sell you 6 additional ones? Snorkel trips, whale watch tours, marlin trips, you name it, can all be done through our platform. So before I open it up to take questions, the 4 things that I talked about at the beginning. We're profitable. We've solved a problem our competitors aren't even close to. We're growing rapidly, and we're a tech company in a huge market that's underserved by technology. Any questions?
I think that was a great job. Very well explained. So, one thing I didn't hear about is liquidity. So, if you ask somebody to invest $250,000, how do you intend to give them a great return from this business?
Well, we're in a really good spot, and we feel that with the way that our margins play out, the way that we develop, that this money is for us is more of an accelerator. We feel that this type of investment isn't going to sustain us. We're not going to die in the vine if we don't get it. Our business is growing rapidly. We feel that to take on that level of investment, we're just going to speed ourselves up. And we think with those high profit margins, low
So have you thought about tying this to a financial instrument like a convertible note that might be paid back over 3 or 4 years at 20% interest?
Yeah, we have thought about those things, and this is one angle, and we're certainly open to other opportunities.
Hi, really nice job on your presentation. And, it's a very interesting and complicated problem that you're solving. I was thinking through this presentation about the Expedias and the kayaks and the other big travel aggregators, and this is definitely a missing link. But it's a missing link because it's a complicated problem. The nature of this business is that it's local mom and pop outfits that you have to go out and roll up. And so you talked about it a little bit, but can you give a little bit more detail about how you expect to scale up? And the second part of that question is, obviously, how do you convince these mom and pop shops to eat in a little bit of their margin to enable the service?
Yeah. To scale up, certainly we're looking to continue to develop our sales force, right? What you're talking about is our ability to integrate, say, with a kayak or an Expedia or whatever. The reason that they can't do and service this particular industry is because they don't have control over real-time availability. I mean, we say real-time availability, but our system is the only one that can guarantee real-time availability in this space. No matter where the reservation originates in our system, right? Whether it comes, somebody walks in the door, they book online, it all goes into the same system. So what we're able to produce is real-time availability, meaning if you make a reservation, you are actually scheduling a guide, a spot, a trip based on the parameters and the structure of that business. So for us to scale into a company like Expedia would be very simple because we control that real-time availability. It's the same as if they were booking an airfare or a seat on an airplane, right? They know the number of seats in the airplane, you can make that very confidently purchase that. So we're that missing piece. The second part of your question, come in the second part of your question, how do we convince mom and pops? That's a good question, and that's what we do every day. What they need to understand is they're spending, if our cost to one of them is $4,500 a year, right? They're spending 3 times that in inefficiencies, whether it's staffing, whether it's mistakes. I can go through story after story about where customers would show up but they don't have a guide, they don't have payment, or vice versa, where customers have taken trips and then they haven't collected payment, right? So it's very easy to convince them that our service is of value. And that's one of the things that we find, and one of the reasons why we can continue to scale is that if we can get in front of them, show them a demo, it's very easy to get them to say yes and jump on board.
What is the revenue of these mom and pops? What do they typically make in a year?
Well, it runs the gamut, right? We can deal with customers as small as one guy working out of a truck with one boat, right? We have some operations that have 30 full-time guides that run multiple trips a year. So we can have as little as $50,000 a year customer to customers that are well north of $1 million.
So why would a $50,000 customer pay $5 million a year? That's 10%.
Well, those aren't the customers that we're looking at, right?
So what is your core customer? Who is your core customer?
Our core customers are those customers that have, and we look at it now by the head, how many people go through their business, since we charge that $2 per person per day reservation fee. We're looking at customers that run roughly 1,000 and up people through their business a year.
So what is that annually revenue-wise?
What is
that annually revenue-wise
for us?
For that customer?
For that customer, their annual revenue, depending on the price point, again, we're not necessarily concerned about what their revenue is, right? What I care about is the number of people that they're running through that business. So if they're doing 1,000 people and we're charging $2 per person a day, right, it's about our revenue, right? What their annual revenue is, I don't know. It could be anything.
So mine's kind of a follow-on to that. Well, first of all, nice job on your pitch, because it's a short amount of time. The purpose of the pitch is just to grab the attention of the investor, and you covered a lot, and you have me wanting to know more. So good job on that. But I'm going to throw out 2 acronyms at you, TAM and CAC. So you talked about your total addressable market. I think in the U.S. was 55 million, was that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then in Bend it was 50 businesses that would be potential customers. So my question is, what percentage of that TAM, let's just talk about Bend, the 50, is realistic based on the type of customer they are that you can reach in the next year? And then what is your CAC, your customer acquisition cost, to get them on board?
Total, that was a sample list of 50. acquisition, for us right now, the way that we scale our customers is about $2,500 per acquisition. The beautiful part about that is that the maintaining and the retention of customers, those customers who we get on board, who use us as their primary reservation system, we're retaining roughly 90% of those a year, right? So we have a 90% retention rate, and then the ongoing support of those customers is virtually none. Once we get them hooked, once they get them used, once we get them set up and they're using the system, it's maybe minutes to zero support once they get hooked on the system and continue to use it.
Audience questions?
Great. Question that Bruce asked you. I'm not sure if you totally understood the question. I think Bruce was thinking, he was asking, what is the exit that an investor, and I think your slide was talking about who might actually buy this company. So can you just clarify, you are expecting to sell this company as a strategic sale to some kind of strategic buyer in the marketplace, or do I misunderstand?
No, I would say that we would be a very enticing buy for any number of the customers that you saw on the screen. I think we would fill basically a round out control of the entire reservation opportunity within this space, within this outdoor space, that I think would be very enticing to any one of those customers that you saw on screen.
So your exit is, for the investor standpoint, the exit is you sell to, I don't know, Orbitz or somebody like that. That's the return. It's an equity play for the investor. Is that correct?
Correct. Thank you, Jim.
Two questions. One, who's using this locally? And the second question is, as you think about rolling this out internationally, what are some of the challenges that you see?
First of all, thank you, Grace, for the first question. This is going to be a great opportunity to plug some local business. Fly Field Outfitters right over here in 14, Deep Canyon Outfitters in town, Deschutes River Outfitters, Deschutes River Anglers, Steelhead Outfitters. Who else am I missing?
There's 7.
I know I'm going to miss somebody, and this is on tape, and then I've got a lot of things to do. I apologize in advance for anybody who sees this, and I believe we're missing a couple there. And then growing it internationally, that's a great question. Just 2 weeks, actually, just the two customers this week, we signed up 2 lodges in Belize, destination lodges in Belize. And the way that our system works, we can plug into, if they want to take credit cards and things like that, we can plug into any sort of merchant account, so we can run through their banking system and all that. So it's very easy. There really is no limitations for us to move internationally. Yeah.
So you have customers all over the United States though right now, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. You're not just locally in Bend, you have customers all over this country.
Correct. Yeah, currently we're in about 23 different states right now.
So I have a question about your profitability. Did I read that on your slide you're going to be $5 million profitable in 2017?
Correct.
So my question is, why that much profitability in a market where you're also saying you're going to do some rental management, and it's such a big space and it's such big players? Why not reinvest and grow faster and go out bigger? Why $5 million in profitability? It seems like a huge amount of profits where maybe there's lots more opportunity to grow your product and kind of get out there bigger.
Yeah. The beauty of our model, of any SaaS model really, is that the cost of goods to run our business is very small, right? So the profitability and margins are very high, which is great. The rental management application that you saw here is just another, what happens within our space is, we've opened ourselves up to go after, we can service any outdoor service provider, right? We do everything from destination lodges to rafting companies, you name it. And our system can manage all of the inner parts of those businesses. What we run into, so with rental managements, we're working with some really large companies who are already customer of ours in, say, Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado, who do ski rentals, right? And when we talk about those big, large rental fleets, what we're getting into is applying our same system, right, to already within our business, already in our niche, that can already use our software. So it's a very small adjustment in our platform to take on rental fleets. So then we're now, rather than charging $2 per person per day, right, per visit, we're now charging $2 per ski rental per day, right? So it's within the the same vertical, just a little, it's a different development piece within our same platform.
Okay, I think we have to call it there. Good job.